Hello folks, this is Tom Martin. This is my lottery strategy game, Decoding the Powerball guessing game. I'm picking my numbers to the drawing on August 10th, 2019. If you'd like to get my game Decoding the Powerball, then please email me at decodingpowerball@gmail.com. Thank you and please subscribe. Okay, so the object of my game is for you to correctly eliminate groups of numbers. There are 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball Lottery. Only 5 numbers can come up as winners, so that means 64 numbers can't come up at all. So for me, I think it should be easier to pick the numbers that won't be coming up than the 5 that actually do. So to help me do that, I'm going to turn to the 4 strategies of my game. So strategy number 1, the game card color code. Okay, so if you've never seen my videos before, why I make them is to show you on how to use my game. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the game card. This is a format that I came up with that represents the 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball Lottery. I really don't have anything for the Powerball itself. My goal is to get all 5 white balls correct and win the $2 million prize of the Power Play option. Okay, so first things first is I'm going to go to the Powerball homepage. And the 5 white winning numbers that just came up were the 8, 32, 47, 53, and 59. Again, I really don't care about the red ball. Okay, so what I do is I take those 5 white winning numbers and I put it at the top of this list. And now I'm going to find out what colors they were. Okay, so the 8 was green, the 32 was orange, the 47 was red, the 53 was orange, and the 59 was green. So I'm going to color these in. So again, the 8 and 59 were green, the 32 and 53 were orange, and the 47 was red. Okay, so now I'm going to count how many colors I have here. Okay, so I have 2 green, 2 orange, and a red for 3 colors total. Okay, so up here I'm going to make this 356 color code drawings I kept track of so far. Okay, and now a 3 color combination has now come up in 190 drawings. Okay, so if you divide 190 into 356, you're going to see that a 3 color combination comes up more than half the time. Okay, and to me that's huge because long term, if I just keep on picking a 3 color combination, I know statistically I'm going to be correct more than half the time. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a new game card. So I'm going to take away all these colors and start from scratch. Okay, so my color code is right here. Here's the red numbers, the orange, the green, the blue, and whatever's left is purple. Okay, so basically what I did here is I took the 69 white ball numbers, I divided it by 5 different colors, and that's 1 color for each of the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, and that equals 13.8. So my goal is to get as close to as 13 or 14 numbers per color as possible, or a good representation of each color. Okay, so again, I'm going to start in with the red numbers. Okay, now the red numbers are the last 3 drawings of numbers, and the reason why that is because this will give me a maximum of 15 numbers. Okay, so again, I'm going to start in with the 8, the 32, the 47, the 53, and the 59. The next line down is the 3, the 6, the 45, the 66, and the 68. The next line down is the 14, the 37, the 47, which is already taken, the 55, and the 67. So again, I'm going to make these red numbers, and now I'm going to count how many I have. So I got 4, and 2 is 6, 4 is 10, and 4 is 14. So up here, I'm going to make this 14. Okay, so up here it tells me how many colors I have on the game card. Okay, so moving on to the orange area. Okay, I'm going to start with this 1, the 19, the 31, 48, 61. The next line down is the 22, 29, 35, 53 is already taken, 56. Next line down is the 5, 26, 36, 64, 69. And the next line down is 19, which is already taken, the 43. 47 is already taken, 60, and 68 is already taken. So again, I'm going to make these orange numbers. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this one. So now I'm going to count how many I have. So I got 3 and 4 is 7. 4 is 11 and 5 is 16. So up here I'm going to make this 16. Okay. So I think you understand how I came up with this color code here. Okay. So just to speed things up, I'm going to scroll to the right. And this is the game card for August 10th, 2019. You can see that there was 14 red numbers, 16 orange, turned out to be 15 green numbers, 15 blue, and 9 purple numbers, okay? So again, more than half the time, a 3-color combination comes up, okay? So that means more than half the time, 2 colors are not coming up, okay? And that's what I want to focus on here. So again, the object of the game is to eliminate groups of numbers, okay? So the strategy is try to correctly guess what color won't be coming up and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card, okay? So as I look at this, again, we're all going to look at this differently, okay? So we're all going to come up with a different result, okay? But for me, I'm going to go with no green numbers, okay? Now the reason why, when I look from here just down to here, you can just see a whole wave of green, okay? So I just think that it's due to not come up for a little while, okay? So I'm going to eliminate these green numbers off of my game card. And hopefully none of these green numbers will come up. Okay, so when I block out a number like this means that I'm not even going to consider this number when I'm picking what I think would be the 5 white winning Powerball numbers, okay? So what I'm doing here is I'm spending $3 on a Powerball ticket, which includes the power play. Okay, so in other words, I'm betting $3 that none of these green numbers will come up in the next drawing. Okay, so if I'm correct with my bet and none of these green numbers come up, then I'm one step closer to that $2 million prize. Okay, so off to the next strategy. Strategy number 2, the individual numbers. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the individual numbers. Okay, so basically what I did is I took all 69 numbers and divided it into 7 different groups. Okay, here's group number 1. It holds the numbers of 1 through 9. This is the only group with 9 numbers where the other 6 have 10. Okay, so I'm going to update this here. Update this. You can see that the 8 came up and it's green. So I'm going to find the 8 and I'm going to make this square green right here. Okay. So this represents that the 8 was green, and the 8 was green because the color code said it was green, okay? So the next thing I'm going to do is find out how many groups it hit out of this 7, okay? So you can see that the 8's in one group, the 32's in another, 47's in another, and the 53 and 59 are in one group. So it hit 4 groups total, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to reduce this down so you can see the whole card. Okay, so again, there's 7 groups here, okay? And there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers, okay? So I know that 2 of these groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it, okay? So the strategy is try to correctly guess what group will not have the winning Powerball number to it and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card, okay? So how you read this is this big square right here. This is good for 5 drawings, okay? And the reason why I like to break it down into 5 is for a couple reasons, okay? When I go back into the history, it's easier to count going 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on, okay? But my theory is that if there's a lot of hits within this 5 drawings, then maybe there won't be so many hits in the next 5 drawings, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a prediction on where I think the Powerball numbers won't be, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with no 60 numbers here, okay? You can see that a 60 number has come up in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drawings in a row, and then it missed one right here, okay? Then it came up 1, 2, 3 more drawings. It missed this last one, and I think it's going to miss a couple here, okay? So I'm going to go with no 60 numbers will be coming up, okay? So I'm going to blow this back up. I'm going to go to the game card, and I'm going to take the 60 numbers off of the game card. Okay, so here's the 66, the 67, 68, 60, 69, and the rest of the 60 numbers hopefully those numbers don't come up. Okay, so off to the next strategy. That's strategy number 3, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 1. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 1 numbers, okay? Basically what I did is I took all the numbers and divided it into 4 different color groups, okay? So when the 5-way winning Powerball land within these 4 color groups, I record where they land down here in the stats, okay? So I'm going to do that right now. I'll go back to the game card, and again, the winning numbers were 8, 32, 47, 53, and 59. Okay, so the 8 here is in the blue. It's sharing the square with the 66, and I'll go over that in a second. Okay, and then the next one was the 32, so there's 2 in the blue area. The 47's in the green. The 53 is in the green with the 69 here. And the 59 is in the orange. Okay, so there's no winning red numbers, okay? There was 2 in the blue area. There's 1 in the orange, that 59, and there was 2 in the green, and that was the 47 and 53, okay? So if there's a hit, I color the background red for hot. Okay, and if there's a miss, I color the background blue for cold, okay? So the strategy is try to correctly guess where these blue marks are going to pop up, okay? If I could have correctly guessed that none of these red numbers were going to come up in the last drawing, I could have eliminated all these numbers and gave myself a much better chance at winning some kind of prize in the Powerball Lottery, okay? So when a 0 does come up, I'll make this 90, okay? So this tells me how many zeros I have in this column here, okay? So I have 15 of these option cards here, all right? So I'm going to go down and I'm going to make a prediction at one of these option cards of what numbers won't be coming up, okay? And I'm going to go to option card number 7, no green numbers, okay? Now the reason why I'm picking this is because a green number has come up in the last 27 drawings here, okay? So as I scroll down, you can see that, you know, besides this 22, there's hardly any 20s that ever come up, okay? So here's another one at 27, all right? So when it gets to the 20s, I just about pick it every single drawing until it misses, okay? So again, I think the 0 is going to be right here. So I'm going to eliminate all these green numbers off of the game card, okay? So I got the 4 corners, I got the middle, 34, 35, 45, 69, and I'm going to take all those numbers off of the game card here. So the 8 shares the square with the 66 and the 19 with the 67, okay? The 58 and the 68 and the 53 with the 69. So I'll get rid of all these numbers, okay? So as you look at this game card, you're going to see these 5 numbers off here to the left, okay? And as I go back to group 1, you can see that there's no numbers off here to the left, okay? So what I did is I really wanted this grid right here of 8 squares across and 8 squares down, okay? But that's only good for 64 numbers, and there's 69 numbers in the Powerball Lottery, okay? So I have to team up or pair up a couple of these squares, okay? So again, the 8 shares the square with the 66, the 19 with the 67, the 25 and the 65, 58 and 68, and 53 with the 69, okay? So if I get rid of all these green numbers, I'm going to get rid of all these green numbers plus the 8, plus the 19, plus the 58, plus the 53 as a group, okay? So that's what I did is I grouped up numbers, and now I'm going to pick whether they're going to come up or not come up, okay? So moving on to the next one. Again, I have 15 of these option cards here, and I'm going to go with number 15, no red numbers. Okay, so here's option card 15, and the reason why I'm picking this one, and again, we're all going to look at this differently, okay? Now you can see this 1 right here, okay? A 1 comes up a lot for some reason, okay? And this pattern of a 1 that follows a 1 comes up a lot as well, like right here. Okay, so as I Scroll on down here. Again, you can see how many ones are just popping up, okay? So this pattern right here of a 1 that follows a 1 has never happened in this red area here, okay? And it happens a lot in all the others. So I'm going to go ahead and guess that this is due to happen here in this red area, where this 1 is going to follow this 1 and the 0 will be right here. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of all these red numbers off of my game card. Okay, so I'm going to start with this one, the 2, 9, 18, 65, and then the 35, 44, 51, 60. So I'll get rid of the 2. The 65 shares the square with the 25, so I'll get rid of that 25. And I'll get rid of that 51. So hopefully those numbers don't come up, okay? I'll go on back. I'm going to go with the 5, 14, 7, 16, and the 69, 62, 55, 64. So I'll get rid of this 14, and I'll get rid of the 55. So hopefully those numbers don't come up, okay? So that's all I'm going to pick from group 1, so I'm off to the next strategy. And that's strategy number 4, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 2. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 2 numbers, okay? So much like group 1, where I divided things into 4 different color groups, here I divided things into 8 different color groups, okay? So it's just another way of looking at groups of numbers, okay? Except with this one, again, there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So I know that 3 of these color groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it, okay? So the strategy is try to correctly guess what color group will not have the winning Powerball number to it and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card, okay? So I'm going to update this as well, okay? So again, the winning numbers were 8. That lies here in the yellow. The 32, that's also in the yellow. The 47 is in the gray. The 53 shares the square with the 69, so it's in the purple. And the 59 is here in the orange, okay? So I like to read things from left to right. I have all the same colors here. I have 15 of these option cards as well. And they all have red, blue, orange, green, purple, brown, gray, yellow. It's just that the numbers that they represent are a little bit different from each other, from each different option card, okay? So again, I have the 59 in the orange, the 53 in the purple, the 47 in the gray, and the 8 and 32 in the yellow. Okay, so down here, the current in the red area, there is no winning Powerball numbers. There's no winning Powerball numbers in the blue area. There's one in the orange, that 59. No winning Powerball numbers in the green area. One in the purple, that 53. No winning Powerball numbers in the brown area. One in the gray, that 47. And 2 in the yellow, the 8 and the 32. Okay? So now I'm going to see how many color groups got hit. So I got 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to put that right here. Now, since the majority of the numbers are over here to this right side, I'm going to make this 4 green. Okay? So you can see that this 4 is red. That means that the majority of the numbers were over here to the left side. Okay? So the reason why I do that, if I see a run of green here, well, I'm going to assume that, sooner or later it's going to go back to red, okay? So that means that at least only 2 of these color groups could have a 0 to it if I made the correct guess that more numbers are going to be over here to this left side, okay? So it's all about a strategy of where to pick where the 0 is going to come up, okay? So I'm going to make a prediction, okay? And I'm going to go with no purple numbers, okay? So let me explain what you're seeing here, okay? So again, I like to break things down into 5 because it shows me that majority, okay? So with this 5 right here, you can see that there was 3 misses and 2 hits, okay? So the majority is misses, and when that happens, I color the background blue for cold. And here you can see the next 5 down, there was 3 hits and 2 misses, so the majority is hits. So I color that red for hot, okay? So we all know the lottery is random, right? And this is what random looks like, okay? So when I see something like this where it's been really, really hot, well, I know eventually it's going to turn cold. I just have to correctly guess when that's going to happen, okay? So again, I'm going to make a prediction, and I think that 0 is going to be right here in this purple area. So I don't think any of these purple numbers are going to come up. Okay, so I'm going to see what they are. It runs from the 5 down to the 61. So I'm going to get rid of these purple numbers off of my game card. So that's the 21 and 37. Hopefully those numbers don't come up. Okay, so moving on. The option card number 2, I'm going to go with yellow. So here's the yellow right here. You can see how hot this has been, okay? And now I think the 0 is going to be right here. So we'll see what happens, and I'm going to get rid of these yellow numbers. And that's the 57 to the 64. So I'll get rid of that 57. Hopefully that doesn't come up, okay? Moving on to option card number 3. I'm going to go with brown. So here's the brown. You can see that this got really, really hot right through here. So I'm hoping that the 0 is going to be right here. Now I'm going to get rid of these brown numbers, and that's the 5 to the 29 and the 34 to the 68. So I'll get rid of that 42. Hopefully that doesn't come up. Okay, so moving on to the next one. Number 4. I am going to go with green. Okay, so here's the green right here. I'm hoping that 0 is going to be right here. So we'll see what happens, and I'm going to get rid of these green numbers, and that's the 29 to the 32 and the 57 to the 60. So I'll get rid of the 30 and 31. So I'll take those off. Okay, so moving on. Option card number 5. I'm going to go with brown. Okay, so here's the brown, and as I scroll down here, you can see how hot things have been. So I think the 0 is going to be right here. Okay, so we'll see what happens. So I'm going to get rid of all these brown numbers off of my game card. So that's a 15 and 22. Okay, so moving on to number 6. I decided to go with gray. So scrolling down, you can see how hot things have been here, right down through here. I'm hoping the 0 is going to be right here. So I'm going to get rid of these gray numbers. And that's the 1, 10, 17, 26 all the way down. So I'll get rid of all those numbers. Hopefully they don't come up. Okay, so moving on to number 7. I chose green. Okay, so here's the green, and as I scroll down, you can see how hot things have been. Okay, now I'm hoping that the 0 is going to be right here. So I'm going to get rid of these green numbers, and that's the 49, 68, 51, 60 all the way across. And there's nothing to get rid of. Okay, so here's the thing with this. If there's no numbers to get rid of, okay, I'm not going to come back to this option card number 7 and pick again, okay? So right now, the average for all 15 option cards runs between 3.8 and 4.2, okay? So what I'm trying to say is that on average, for all 15 option cards, 4 of these color groups are going to have a hit to it, and 4 of these color groups are going to have a miss to it, okay? So right now, it's kind of like a 50-50 guess, okay, on average, okay? So if I pick something like this green and there was nothing to get rid of, I'm not going to come back to this one again because my odds go way, way up that I'm going to get it wrong, okay? So I'm going to move on to the next option card where I have that 50-50 guess again, okay? So with option card number 8, I went with the red numbers. I'm hoping that the 0 is going to be right here. Okay, so we'll see what the red is. And that's the 5, 16, 21, 31 all the way down. And there's nothing to get rid of, okay? So moving on to option card 9. I'm going with orange. Okay, so here's the orange. And things have been pretty high here, so I'm hoping that the 0 is going to be right here. And I'm going to get rid of these orange numbers. And that's the 326 on the pattern of 326 on the left side and 1423 on the right side. So I'll get rid of this 3. Hopefully that number won't be coming up. Okay, so moving on to option card number 10. I'm going to go with blue. Okay, so here's the blue area. So things have been pretty hot down through here. I'm hoping the 0 is going to be right here. And I'm going to get rid of these blue numbers, and that's the 267, that pattern all the way around in all 4 squares here. So I'll get rid of the 6 and the 38. Hopefully those numbers don't come up. Moving on to 11. I'm going to go with red. Okay, so here's the red. And as I scroll down through, you're going to see things got really, really hot through here. So I'm hoping that the 0 is going to be right here. And I'm going to get rid of these red numbers. And that's the 6, 17, 35, 56. So I'll get rid of that 43. Hopefully that doesn't come up. Moving on to 12. Again, I have 15 of these option cards, so I'm almost done. Okay. So 12 is purple that I went with. We'll go down, check it out. You can see that things got pretty hot through here, so I'm hoping the 0 is going to be right here. And I'm going to get rid of these purple numbers. And that's the 6 and the 34. So I'll get rid of that 41. Okay, off the excuse me, option card 13. Gonna go with red. So as I scroll down, you can see how hot things have been here. So I'm hoping the 0 is going to be right here. And I'm going to get rid of these red numbers. And that's the 65 to the 28 and the 61 to the 64. So I'll get rid of that 28. Hopefully that doesn't come up. Moving on to 14. I'm going to go with yellow. So here's the yellow. And as I scroll down through, down here it got pretty hot. So I'm hoping the 0 is going to be right here. We'll see what happens, but I'm going to get rid of these yellow numbers, okay? And that's the 13 to the 7 and the 34 to the 44. So I'll get rid of that 36. Hopefully that doesn't come up. And the last one is option card 15, and I'm going to go with brown, okay? So here's the brown. You can see that things got pretty hot through here, so I'm hoping the 0 will be right here. And I'm going to get rid of these brown numbers. It runs from the 5 to the 32 and the 33 to the 60. And I screwed up somewhere. I know that this 39 is not supposed to be here. I must have missed it somehow. Okay, so these are the numbers that I'm going to go with. The numbers I plan on going with all the time. Okay. So it's the 12, 20, 27, 47, 52. I'm going to write that down. Okay, so we'll see what happens. So again, I'm going to go with the 12, 20, 27, 42, and the 12, 20, 27, 47, and 52. Okay, so you know, like Sherlock Holmes would say, it's a matter of deduction, okay? If these blocked out numbers don't come up, then these highlighted numbers have to come up, okay? So, you know, what are the odds that I made all the correct picks, okay? So the odds for the grand prize for the 5 white balls and the red ball are 1 in 292 million. Okay, so the odds are pretty steep. Okay, my goal is to get all five white balls correct. Okay, the odds of that are 1 in 11,688,000. Okay, so it's still pretty steep, but if I could reduce a couple of those numbers, then I could get the odds down for myself. Okay, a nice prize to win would be 4 white balls and a red ball that pays 50,000 plus the power play if you play it. The odds of that are just about 1 in a million. Okay. And then 4 white balls pays $100. You can see what the odds are, okay? 3 white balls pays $7, and if you get the red ball, that's $4, okay? So you can see that the odds are pretty steep, you know. I just want to let you know that if you spend $3 per drawing, there's 2 drawings per week, you would spend $312 per year on the lottery, okay? So I do have something for the Powerball number. Okay, so let me bring this up. Okay, so what I did here, the last Powerball number was 3. Okay, so in this column here, how you look at this is there's 26 red numbers total. Okay, so I just divided the numbers in 2. So if you see a blue number, it's low, 1 to 13. If you see a red number, it's high, 14 to 26. In this column here, if you see a red number, it's odds. If you see a blue number, it's evens. Okay. So the reason why I do this is now I just look at the colors, okay? So when I see something like a long run here, a blue, well, I know it's going to turn red eventually. I just have to correctly guess when that's going to happen, okay? So you can see that there's a kind of a long run here. So I'm thinking that this next drawing will be red, which is a high number, okay? And I'm thinking that this is going to be blue, okay? But again, we're all going to look at this differently, okay? So to me, I think a high even number is going to come up, okay? So I'm just going to concentrate on those, and that's the 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, okay? So it's now I'm just going to look at 8 numbers instead of all 26, okay? So this is the thing for my for the Powerball number, okay? So in closing, I want to thank you for watching, okay? If you would like to support my channel, then please go to my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/Decoding the Powerball, okay? And as always, I want to wish you the best of luck with your picks.